Hi, Harry. Thank you for accepting my invitation. I am really, really excited about this interview. Could you please introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Harry. I'm 23 years old. I'm from the United Kingdom, somewhere between Manchester and Liverpool, a small village called Chapel. So for people who know where Harry Styles was from, that's his hometown as well. So I've been
Ah,
in Baku for 2 years now,
mhm.
and I'd like to stay at least into the near future.
Okay, so the most important question for this interview, why Azerbaijan?
This was one of the questions that I did prepare for because it's probably the biggest question.
Yes.
For me, it was a sense of curiosity and adventure. I work year upon year here, it's contractual, and so I have many options at the end of every academic year. And so if it all went wrong for me when I signed on to this job, I could always leave. As of right now, I do in fact ask myself, what else am I in search of? If I'm going to look somewhere else in the world, what am I looking for that I don't have here? Everything
Mhm.
that I wanted when I graduated is here. And so when it came down to making the decision, I whittled it down to three. I had a place on the most coveted South Korea teachers program
Mhm.
in Seoul, an opportunity in Beijing, and Baku. Now, purely because I know nothing about Baku, to me, it became silly not to give this a go because
Mhm.
there was just so much unknown about it in England. And so it was a
Yeah.
great opportunity for me to learn and just experience something unlike anyone else I've ever met.
Okay. And how is living in Baku? Do you enjoy yourself in there?
Oh, I love it. I really do. But for me to consider this question properly,
Mhm.
in the way you've intended it, I'll come at it from an expatriate's perspective. Of course, I'd have to be naive to assume that the lives of local Azerbaijanis are similar to mine. I'm very privileged with the treatment that my school gives me, and I'd like to think that I'm at least aware of that.
Mhm.
But what I also enjoy about my time in Azerbaijan is that I don't just associate with expats because I can do that in England. I can
Yeah,
hang out with
exactly.
English people in England,
Uh-huh.
and here the local staff have been fantastic, incredibly accommodating. One example: if we all go out together and I'm the only expat, they'll
Mhm.
speak English. They all speak Russian and Azerbaijani and English, but they will all speak their third language just so that I can get involved. Now, as normal as that might sound to you, you're Azerbaijani. It it means an awful lot to me because Britain has a reputation, and I'm fortunate to be surrounded by local friends that I have.
That's good to hear, actually.
But
Yeah, good.
also um, sporting activities and scouting. I'm
Mhm.
huge with scouting, and I realized a couple of months ago that Azerbaijan is big on national scout movements. And so I've been trying to move myself into there. And this is coming back to the first part of my first answer.
Mhm.
If I'm going to look elsewhere in the world, what do I want? Of course, I could move to Dubai, but it's 50-degree summers. I can't go
Yeah.
outside. So,
But Harry, what was the most surprising things you saw in Azerbaijan, in Baku? What
you
was
know,
like shocking for you? It's like was shocking.
okay, yeah, shocking. I'm sure you'll be expecting this one.
Uh-huh.
Bolt drivers.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
For me, it's the same actually, even though I'm from Azerbaijan.
It's they drive like they don't want to live. And
Exactly.
what amazed me was how little value they place on human safety or the
Mm-hmm.
car safety by cutting the seatbelts.
Mm-hmm.
On my way back from football this morning, the car had no seatbelts, and both of the back windows were smashed in. So it was like rolls of sellotape to
Wow.
keep the window closed. It's it's really a roller coaster, uh, but that amazed me because when you compare Bolt here to anywhere else
Anywhere
in the world,
else? Yeah, exactly. I know. But what about the cultural shock? Any cultural shock? I'm sure you have faced. some cultural
Yeah,
jokes.
there's one in particular. Now, I'm a keen long distance runner, and I'm sure if you've seen long distance on television, we don't run in cargo pants and
Yeah.
big jackets.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Fewer items of clothing, or just more revealing items of clothing, less weight, faster you go, less drag. Now, what I realized here is nobody wears shorts, nobody. And so whenever I go out running, it always attracts laughs, it attracts smiles. I'm fine with that, I don't mind. It's not as if I'm being looked up and down in disgust. Of course, there's one or two of those, but I don't think I'm offending anyone with it. And because I'm comfortable with at least being the butt of the joke. But also, if you're walking out on the boulevard and you see somebody else wearing shorts and you're looking for a friend, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be your friend because
Yes, it's like a
no one
short team.
Yeah.
Anything you like about Azerbaijan?
I whittled it down to 2 when I was really considering this. The first thing that I really enjoy about Azerbaijan as a teacher, it's the respect element. I work in an inner city private school. Now, the reason I say inner city is purely because our idea of inner city teaching in England against most likely in Azerbaijan, they are not the same thing. And there is a great possibility that if I were located in London at the same point from the most central point, I would not enjoy my work in the way I do. These students have an ingrained respect. It's very clear that it's it's culturally stressed for all children to respect their elders, to respect authority. I don't know anybody really and I'm friends with many local and expat teachers that have really suffered as a result of dealing with inner city children in Baku. And that really impressed me because it's a job that, dependent on the students, you'll either love it or detest it.
And Harry, how do you deal with homesickness? Are you feeling homesick sometimes, maybe?
The first couple of months that I had in Baku, and I arrived here with another employee. He was in the upper school and I was in the middle school, and he's older than I am. He has a wife, children. I'm nothing of the sort. Came over, just me, single, perfect. I don't really miss anyone. And what he said to me, the hardest thing for him is being without his family. And I said, yeah, I agree. The downside of being out here is being without your family. Then when I was on the phone to my dad, I said, I love it. It's amazing. Downside is I don't have any family out here. And his response to that was, yeah, but you have to look at it from another perspective.
Yeah.
The positive of being in Baku is that you don't have your family with you. I'm very fortunate that the school provides me a flight home at the end of every academic year. We have FaceTime, a good data plan to call at whatever time of day, only a 3-hour time difference at the moment. So it's not as if I'm in Australia with a 12-hour difference.
But what are you missing most apart from family?
Honestly, having mum cook for me.
Oh.
Now I can cook. I'd like to make that clear, but there's just something that mums can do in the kitchen that you can't. A mother's touch, just like everything. And when I was back in Holmes Chapel over the summer for 3 weeks, the first question she asked me was, "Would you like to cook? You can prepare your own food if you like." Nope. You are fantastic at cooking. You're amazing. And I'd love to experience that for 21 days again.
Yes.
That's probably what I miss most.
And you know also that I live in Poland and I work in here. I've been living here for 4 years, and living in Poland taught me a lot. Like I had the opportunity to face myself, to see myself. And what about you? What did you learn about yourself? And
I really liked this question when I read it on the brief that you sent me, because what I have learned most importantly is chatting with my American colleagues, observing Azerbaijani tradition. You are all proud of your nationality, maybe not happy with the country when you're living in it, but you're proud to be Azerbaijani. My South African colleagues are proud South Africans. Same with the Americans. They're proud to fly the Star Spangled Banner. Now, in Britain, the Union Jack has been, well, essentially, the meaning has been tainted to represent divide and exclusivity to a certain ethnic group. And essentially, it's getting worse every year. And so you're not encouraged, I'll put it this way, you're not encouraged to fly the Union Jack outside of your house. Now, over here, what I've learned is to be proud of my heritage, to be proud of where I am, who I am, where I'm from, and who I am. And this isn't something that I would have experienced in Britain. For me, it's done an awful lot of good for my confidence.
Yeah.
I'm one of 2 Brits that I know here. And we're proud of that. Whereas back home, you can't be proud of the Union Jack, and that's the reality of it.
Yeah, I understand. But what about anything you don't like about Azerbaijan? I'm not gonna be offended, don't worry.
No,
Be
honestly,
honest.
the only thing that I struggle with is getting pork, but that's to be expected as you're a Muslim country culturally. Yeah, so it was always going to be a difficulty. I find a couple of butchers every now and then. That's the only difficulty at the moment. Beyond that, I could say e-commerce has been very difficult, but if anything, it broke a very bad habit that I had back in England with Prime delivery next day. You get everything that you want. You can buy instinctually and just off of impulse. Here, I can't do that. So at least it broke a rather expensive habit. So I honestly, I love living here. It's everything that I wanted it to be.
That's good. What about that's also for me. I am asking out of curiosity. Any racism you have faced in Azerbaijan? Have you ever had this experience? I hope not, but
No, I haven't. I don't know anybody that has. Of course, it's very different. In supermarkets, it's quite unsettling because in Britain, you ask for assistance and then they help you out. But with me and a lot of my friends, you go in and you have this shadow one step behind you. But that obviously has nothing to do with race and ethnicity. That's just people being helpful. Again, it's probably just Bolt drivers trying to make a quick buck and thinking I'm a tourist or for any tourist trap. It's normally the airport.
Airport. Yeah.
But if that's the downside, it's really not that big a deal. How about you in Poland?
In Poland, for me, no, actually, I have never faced any racist experience. Maybe, I am working in a British international school, so that makes difference because we have so many international students, even also teachers. So, but local people, no, I have never experienced. Even though I've read so many bad comments about Poland, they are racist and stuff. Maybe it's depends also the city I am living. I live in Gdansk, so maybe the smaller city, they might be different. I think you also have been to Poland. I've seen in your posts.
Yeah, I love Poland. So I've never been to Gdansk. I've been to, I'll use the Polish words, Warszawa, Wrocław and Poznan. Those were fantastic. I was supposed to visit Lodz a couple of years ago, but COVID shut all of that down.
Sorry, because now in Poland I am struggling with the paperwork because they are so slow. It drives me insane. Really? What about in Azerbaijan? How does it work for you? Because we are also foreigner in there.
Yeah.
The paperwork and everything.
I had at HR at my first school, she was fantastic. She got everything done within the day. She was great. And then I changed school, I think she went on maternity, and in that time somebody else covered for her, and I moved to another school. And I think this was just her, like her professionalism. She got everything done.
Oh,
I
so you were lucky.
yes, I was very fortunate with this first lady, but I'm experiencing exactly what you are. I think my one of my friends told me HR hardly relevant. Beep that out.
Oh, what about your language level? Azerbaijan, of course. Are you trying to learn or not really?
You know, I did give it a go initially. When I arrived, I was in a rather secluded compound called Dreamland, and we were surrounded by other teachers or our students. I actually lived next door to a couple of my students, so that was fantastic. But in terms of language, when I would go into a restaurant and just try, maybe it was the waiter or possibly my pronunciation, we can roll with that.
Mm-hmm.
I would order something and I would just get so I'd have to get the menu and show them exactly what I wanted. But what I have used in the past, and a couple of my friends watching this will know exactly what I mean, like Google Translate, speaking into it, and and then it translates, and then they speak Russian or Azerbaijani, and then it translates to me. It did me some good. On a couple of occasions, it's mistranslated and had us both looking at each other very confused. She doesn't know why I've asked her a certain question, and I'm looking thinking that was a very simple question.
Are you planning to live in Baku for a long term, or how long you are going to live in the future plan?
Well, I've informally committed to another 3 years here.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, what I said when I moved out here, I had a year to make up my mind, do I want to go elsewhere? But now that I've been here for a couple of years and networks are starting to expand, I don't see the point in moving on when I'm starting to mingle with other schools, build formal relationships with other teachers, administrative staff. And so professionally and with my career in mind, this seemed like the best place to stay. We're an IB candidate school as well. So I think I've all but signed this formal obligation to stay for another 3 years. But the thought of that, it doesn't scare me, doesn't frustrate me, because I'm exactly where I want to be. And if I'm miserable after 2 years, there's far more to life than just money. And so I can leave.
Exactly.
Yeah.
True. What's your advice for the people who want to live abroad? Now, in every single interview that you see online, it's everybody just says, do it, just do it. Yeah, just go for it. So I tried with this response to be a little different. First of all, for teachers, it's very easy for us to say, just check out opportunities. There's loads. You can go wherever you want if you speak English. The world's your lobster. My English viewers will get that reference. So you can check out different opportunities abroad, but teaching isn't the only profession. A lot of people can work just virtually. You can log in from wherever you are in the world if you're provided that opportunity. And so that's just experiencing a different culture. Of course, it's difficult to pack up and move abroad. But for me, and what I keep saying to my dad, is why on earth would I restrict myself to the national job market? Like the UK is 70 million at the moment, I think, or maybe just England, with a lot on the news, 70, 80 million. So why would I restrict myself to the national job market when I can expose myself to the global market, rather than just becoming a narrow-minded citizen of Britain? If we're brutally honest, if you live in one place, you only really experience one culture. So become a world citizen and try something out. The worst that's going to happen, you hate it, you go back. Exactly. But always, I guess, taking a risk. in a different way, go for it.
I tried, I really did. But I guess the alternative answer is no, don't do it. It sucks.
But is it really sucks sometimes?
No. I don't. We have our bad days at school where you come home and just jump on the bed and lie down for an hour or so. But I don't remember a day that I've thought, I really don't like where I live. I don't feel safe. That's another thing that I need to emphasize with Baku. It's by far the safest place I've ever been. Without competition to even the small village that I grew up in. The police presence is immense and you feel safe. You don't feel threatened. You just feel protected and everyone behaves. We act socially desirably because the police are everywhere, but it just becomes normal. And of course, I have to give you all credit because it's reflected in the classroom without security guards. So it's definitely just a cultural thing. And I feel extremely lucky to have chosen Azerbaijan, take that risk, and it's rewarding me every single day.
Oh, that's really amazing to hear good stuff about Azerbaijan from Bahrain. And now you made me to think of going back to Azerbaijan.
Well, what you don't know is I'm actually being paid 500,000 manat by the government. This is just an advertisement. So as soon as we end this video, then I can tell you what it's actually like.
Yes.
No, bad joke.
Thank you so much. It was really nice to talk to you and having this interview. Do you want to add anything else? Do you have anything else to say?
Not really, no. I think, I don't, I've covered everything. Also, I had a lot of responses from a lot of the local staff I work with, wishing me all the best with the passing of Queen Elizabeth II. That was lovely. You just keep touching on to nice people. I can't imagine British folks being as engaged or absorbed in the culture of somebody else, or at least caring and respectful. So I appreciated that from everybody.
Thank you, Harry. I wish you good luck. And
thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.